How's it going? I got a Elephone EleCam Explorer Elite 4K action camera that I'm going to do a review on. I'm not going to be sitting there doing an unboxing, even though I got a ton of stuff that it come with. GearBest had sent me this to try out, and I've used it for about roughly a week now. And one thing I was, I guess, concerned about these is I've run action cams, Sony's, since they've come out, the AS10, 15, 100V, and I was thinking about getting a newer one, later model, but so far the 100V has done me well. And I've never even looked at these cheaper model action cameras, so by getting this, it was kind of neat to be able to try it out. You're only talking like $78. I want to show you what I found out about it and if these things hold up to, say, Sony's, and I've had some GoPros in the past, but like I said, I've kind of leaned towards Sony. I want to see if these hold up to it, give you an idea what you could possibly be looking at if you do purchase one, being as they're so, well, pardon my language, but damn cheap. Now, if you look on the link below, it'll take you to GearBest website to this actual camera. What you'd expect to get is, it is packed quite well, but the housing on this, waterproof housing, I've done extensive tests on it. Very well made, works quite well. And one thing with this versus, say, Sony's, you don't have to buy a flat door. This thing comes with it, and there is no distortion in this underwater. So that's a good thing. The big thing I like is this actual little housing it comes with. This camera fits right in there, slides in. Now you got a 1/4-20 normal tripod mount on the bottom and on the top. And this little mount I use more than probably anything so far. And you get a numerous supply of different types of mounts for this. Now this is like the GoPro mount. You got this one, you got another bicycle mount, USB charging cord. By the way, it does charge with a micro USB. Pretty much every phone charger I've had works good on it. And for some reason, a spare door for the back, which is nice. A bunch of sticky mounts to put it on the dash to use as a dash cam. And I just noticed, that's awesome. Right here's a 1/4-20 mount. So every one of these mounts that would slide in, like this one here, you can actually pull this off the bottom, and then you can use this with the glass door, waterproof door, on a regular tripod mount. Pretty neat. I just figured that out while I was doing the damn video. Trying to wonder what the hell. But then you got your other regular one here. Another mount, zip ties for whatever. This is a clip mount, put on a bill of a hat. Velcro straps for the mounts. Another mount, and another mount, and another mount. And then some 3M tape and looks like cable to end up mounting it. Lens cleaning cloth. So anyways, you basically get all these mounts, the camera, the waterproof door for the housing for $78. So how good is that camera? We're gonna find out. But first, before I do that, I wanna show you a little bit of the features it has and run through the menu. It does have a Sony lens, and it does shoot full 4K at 24 frames a second, 2K at 30 frames a second. Now, one of the initial great features on this camera is, of course, it has a 2-inch screen. And I'm gonna quick pop into the menu here. And to start it off with, got your resolution. It has a number of different resolutions, all the way up to 4K, 2K, 1080p at 60 frames, 1080p 30 frames, 720 at 120 frames a second. Now, one thing I noticed, 120 frames a second will be 4 times slow motion, just like, say, on a Sony action cam. But you also have the ability to turn that on and off. It'll shoot that 120 frames a second in regular 720p with sound. So you can slow it down with sound, which I'll be showing you video clips of it. All right, we're gonna take this Steel Storm by Uramax that'll shoot 6-round burst. Run at 720p at 120 frames a second and try to slow this down to see if we can get a good slow motion. I'm going to be firing at 2A and W cam. Let's see what happens. Didn't have it in auto, so now we'll have to do another one. And of course some other ones which we're not even going to get into. And you do have loop recording for automobile, 1 minute on up to 10 minutes. And that's seamless loop recording, so you do not miss anything when it goes from one file to the next. Then time-lapse recording, which I'm going to show you a demonstration on that. 1 second on up to 1 minute for time-lapse. You don't need a computer to render this. Time-lapse, it actually, even if you got it on 4K, it will give you that time-lapse for whatever seconds, whatever you got that set at, whether it's 1 second, 60-second intervals, and for as long as the card can hold it or before the battery goes dead. I'm going to skip some of these settings, but you got HDR, your audio, and like I said, turning your slow motion on and off. You got motion detection. You can turn that on and off so it'll start recording as basically a security camera. And image stabilization, this is electronic. Control your capture mode, your quality, your sharpness, your exposure level on both video and picture, your white balance, same thing, your color. And you can control your ISO from auto to manual, which is actually quite helpful for video. And the big one here, you have car mode, which if you have it plugged in, hooked up to the windshield of a car and run it as a dash cam, as soon as you pull the power on it, it shuts off. As soon as you start the power on the vehicle, it turns on. Field of view is pretty good. I'll demonstrate that. You got 170 all the way down to 70 degrees, and it works quite well. I'm going to drop the field of view down to 70 degrees. Here's 2K at 140 degree field of view. Here's 2K at 110 degree field of view. Now here's 2K with 70 degrees field of view, and there's 170 degrees. Fisheye adjust is awesome. You can make it so it looks like fisheye, and it actually helps correct it when you got fisheye adjust on. Aqua mode gives you 10 to 15% more light when you have it in the underwater housing. Wi-Fi, same thing. You have Wi-Fi where you have an actual program you can hook that up to, and maybe I'll just show you that real quick. You got your Explorer Elite app you can get from the app market. Now one thing I noticed, it's a little bit slow, but it does the trick. About the same as Sony's. Seems to work quite well. A little bit of hesitation once in a while, but you can control it with the app, majority of the settings. So that's a quick rundown of the features. Now, is this thing actually produce real good video? The only thing I'll tell you right now, I do the image stabilization with it on and off. This thing lags a little bit in image stabilization. It does help, but it gets choppy. But overall, I'm telling you, I'm very impressed with this thing. And like I said, look at the link below. If you're looking to buy something and not spend $200, $300, $400 for an action cam, I'm telling you, I've had the Sonys, I run the Sonys, I use the Sony a lot in all my metal detecting videos and that. And so far, this thing is performing quite well, and you'll see that on the video itself, the samples that I provide with this thing. All right, this is 4K at 24 frames a second. Everything's set in auto, and I do have HDR on. I'm gonna pan up with each setting and then back down and then to the side. Now side to side to see any rolling shutter. Got some. Now this is 2K, 30 frames a second. This is 1080p at 60 frames a second. This is actually a setting I like. You notice? Minimal rolling shutter and whatnot. Now there's other video settings, but I'm just going with the 720p at 120 frames a second. Does a good job, but it is grainier. Right, this is night mode. We got the moon poking up from the hillside out there. It's what you can expect at night. These lights that you see in front of you are solar lights, and this is my front deck porch or whatever, lighting on that. Does a pretty good job. I'm running 2K, pretty much everything's in auto. I'm going to turn a flashlight on here, give you an idea. And being as I didn't do it during the daytime, I'm going to have to run with image stabilization on and give you an idea what that looks like. All right, we're going to start out with the image stabilization on, walking with it in my hand. Seems to do a pretty good job. Once in a while in the car, I noticed it didn't seem to keep up as good as what it should, but I might have had something wrong when I was testing it. Now, this is with it off. Trying to hold it as still as possible like I did with it on. And I'm not sure how they do it, but to get all these mounts and everything else with this camera for like $78, and then go ahead, you can see there's a 10% discount at the bottom, and you're talking around 70 bucks. You can't go wrong with this stupid thing. I'm seriously, it's unreal. One thing I want to do yet is provide you a little low light video in here with this, and run it up to, say, a little old school lantern and give you another aspect of low light. All right, I got an oil lamp lit. We're gonna take a video of my Panasonic, which you're looking through right now, and now the little action. Seems to do a pretty good job. All that stuff with it. Just like I said, it's unreal. Quite an awesome little camera for the money. Pretty impressed with it. There you go.